Where you want to set up an internet network, you need to decide one. Is it a small scale? Is it a medium enterprise? Or a large scale facility? So there are so many things that's number one thing you need to look at. You need to check what's their maximum number of users. You know, there are some companies, the number of staff might be 10. There are some enterprises you get to, there are number of staff that are reporting that office by 500. So the different types of setup that you use is different from different. Number two thing you need to check is, are you having a wired facility or a wireless network? Are you going for a wired facility or a wireless network? In a wired facility, it means that every of the offices within that building we have what? A wired port. And while we are doing intercom network, I told you that we have internet network partners as well. Are you guys with me? So assuming it's an office that they have 20 offices there, it means you are sure that you are running how many cables? 20 cables down to each of those ports. So, but if it is wireless, that's another space entirely. So you decide maybe it's wired or wireless. After deciding that, you need to check what is the activity that they want to be using on it. There are some places like there might be a microfinance bank, which they have their own personal application that almost every organization has their own customized personal application. Are you guys with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Multi-choice for branded store, they have what they call SME. They have Clarity. They have some app. There are some apps that have Oracle. They have different apps. So he checks what is the size and what is the internet consumption of their app. If it's just you want to be doing normal account balancing, the app might not consume a lot of space. Next thing after checking that, the next thing you need to look at is, do they need a local storage backup, a local server? What are the advantages of this local server? Let me give you an example. There are some sites that you go to that there are some templates that are constant. Like Facebook, you know that there are some templates on Facebook that are constant. Am I right or wrong? Like Maryland, there are some templates that are constant. The only thing that will just be changing is the wordings and the address. So we have something we call cache. Cache means is saving part of those information. So instead of requesting for the old information every time, it will only just be changing information that are not available yet. Are you guys get what I'm saying now?
Yes, sir.
That's why if you are offline and you have used maybe your Facebook, you can still check your past. You can still check some of your past posts. What if you have saved them as cache, call it cache, inside your normal former work, local database. Are you guys with me now? So that's another thing you need to check. So what are the other facilities they want to use within that environment? In some environments, they might have a biometric system. They might decide that they want to connect their biometric to the internet setup. In some environments, they will have what? CCTV. They want to connect their CCTV to the network. In some environments, they might have what we call weight evaluation system. Maybe they have a place that they are loading and discharging load. They have an evaluation system that the moment the truck comes in, it will evaluate the weight of that truck. By the time you load the truck, maybe it's 600 bags, maybe it's 800 bags, there is a certain weight. Let's assume that a cement bag is 50 kg. 800 bags, they are how many kg?
800 times.
It should be 40,000 kg. How many tons? How many tons is that?
That is almost 1.5.
Ton. What's the conversion of ton to a kg? Who got this study? Eh? Mathematics. Oh, I'm going to convert tons to kg. Yeah, that's by class you only draw one. You don't apply mathematics and you don't know conversion of ton to kg. That's what you do. I can still forgive you. Cause ownership. I can see excuse you. Oga. Elect. And you can't convert turn to you to stand up. Go and stay at the back. Stand up, go and stay at the back. You know do like a Mickey Grossi. Devices are biometric systems. Like the moment you are putting away, calculate total number. So in a week, the owner of the facility or the management can decide how many loads left this environment. This is classic I said. There's another one. We have some that use barcode system. Barcode. Nowadays, most of the supermarkets you go to, they use barcode. Are you guys with me now? So with that barcode, it can every store that comes in, you don't need to scan it to encode it. And every time they are selling it, you do what? You decode it. The system itself will do what? Will balance those information. At that level, you also need what? They might need an internet facility. Because we have two types of property management system like that. We have the one we call web-based, and we have the one we call local-based. Web-based means that there must be internet at every point in time to input your variables. While the local-based, you can actually input your variables. There will always be a folder in your system that will be keeping all those information pending the time that you can connect to internet and synchronize it for backup. So those are the initiatives that you need to ask before you decide that which facilities is the best to use in the environment. So based on those things, you can classify are they light users? Okay, are they medium users? Are they heavy users? Aside that, how many things are like to do now? What's number one? You need to do physical inspection. Number two,
amount of
number of users.
Check if it's a small scale or large scale.
And now you use number of users to do that one. Number of users. What's number three? Wired or wireless. Which of those of wireless? What's number four? Storage. What's number five now?
Other facilities.
Yeah, other facilities that are available in that environment. Do you have any question on all I've said? Next thing after that, you now check the level of security. How secure do you want your network to be? Under the security, I'll divide it into 3 places. Now, most times, let me start from the least one, which is username and password. There are some establishments. A good example, maybe a cyber cafe. There's no cyber cafe again. It's not common like before. Maybe a typesetting environment now, where they just do typeset, type documents. They might just need only one single username and password. Maybe there are only really one system to check email. Then you want to print information from that mail. Am I right? Or not? So it's only few people that have access to it. So with just a single username and password, they are what? They are good to go. In another scenario now, a good example of that scenario is where we went last week, where they have multiple staff. They have multiple staff. And note now, each of the staff has his own personal laptop that belongs to the company. So the internet is only available, they want it to be only available for what? The company system. So if you come with your own personal phone, you should not have access to it. That's why the fact that there is internet in that facility, except maybe it's the company that gave you the what? That phone. There are 2 ways to that one. Number 1 way, you can do what we call MAC address marking. MAC address marking. MAC address marking means every device that is connected to internet will always have a MAC address. There is no device that is connected to internet that doesn't have MAC address. So we need to know all the MAC address that is available on what? On all their systems. Then we put it in a certain database. So the moment that internet discover that MAC address, that system will do what? We browse. That's number one. I'll move to the second one, multiple login now. The first one is just one single login. The second one now is multiple login. There's another one we do is after MAC address. We have what we call individual login details. Two good examples of devices that can do such work. We have Cisco equipment. We have Comscope. We have the most common one we use here in Nigeria. We have what we call Microtik. That's what we use at that for Microtik. Those are devices that can do that work. In this one, you can set it up in such a way that you can decide how many staff do you have in your company. 20 staff. Let me give you 50 users. Each user will have his own independent username and password. How is that with me now? So the moment I gave a staff a username and password, he can decide to put it on his phone. He can decide to put it on the system. In some sense, we might decide that the IT staff will put those username and password to individual systems. So they now hand over the system to you. And we can limit the login to one single user. We can decide to use it as one single user. You understand what I mean by one single user? The moment one system is using it, another one can't use it. And maybe you were there when that man was complaining that one system is not browsing. None of you heard. Because we have already used that login on the system. So on another system, it was saying no internet. So we have already marked this one. So that one will restrict individual to single user and password. Another thing we can do after under multiple users, you can give them username and password. You can also limit their bandwidth. I have 20 staff. The whole work that they want to do for my company, they can't use maybe more than 300 MB per day. So I can restrict it that the moment they use 500 MB, the internet will do what? It will stop going. It will take them back to the company page. After, if I can lay my hand on that device, I may teach you how to code my coaching time. It's not a must, so it's if you guys are serious. So. But if you guys will be serious, as many as those that are interested in that one, you come with your own personal system. And I've already told you as a core member, I don't use my laptop to train with you. Because some core members in the past can do what? They have spoiled my laptop. Can I move on? Another thing that we can do, outside giving user bandwidth, there's another thing we can do. We can restrict packets. Put it that way. We can restrict packets. What do we mean by restriction of packets? There are some sites that generally we know that they consume a lot of what? A lot of data. And if you are our staff, in a normal setting, you should not be using that site on our network. Who can give me an example of such site?
Facebook, Instagram.
Okay, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, YouTube. Another one again.
TikTok.
Netflix. That one even a criminal. Netflix. Who else again? Showmax. You are a rich person before you have a Showmax account. So somebody that has Showmax account should not be. Which one again? I know you know, but you don't want to say allow staff to be torrenting or what on companies. At least everybody understand what we mean by torrent now. You don't know torrent. You don't know torrent. That's another assignment for you. Go and tell me. How many of you don't know anything about torrent? You don't know what we call torrent. Do you know torrent? You don't know torrent. You don't know torrent. You don't know torrent. You don't know. The data that the company has purchased will be lasting for what? A longer period of time. That's number one. Number two, the bandwidth. You know there is a difference between data and bandwidth. Data means the volume of information that you are requesting or you are sending through a certain path. While bandwidth is the size of the information that can flow across. Speed is the rate at which your data is what? Is moving. Then lastly, what's latency?
Latency.
I gave you assignment on latency sometimes ago.
Yes.
So
You
what's
said
latency?
the time you gave command and the difference between the action time and the response
And the
time.
response
Thank you
time,
very
yes.
much. Torrent is the time lag between the time that you initiate a command and
Then your
between the time
response.
the command is executed. So those are the ones. So after having those basic, don't let me go deeper into networking on that side. The next thing you now go to is what are the hardwares that you need? Hardwares that you need. We have talked about the architecture now. Size, speed, or what do you want to block, what do you want to unblock. What are the hardware that we need? The first hardware, and which one of the most important hardware is what's your ISP router. I like one of the guys asked me a question, why are we using outdoor in this facility? Why don't we give them the normal small one? They should be okay with it. Abi, why are we using outdoor? But one thing, the answer I gave you was that an outdoor was a larger bandwidth, and by the time we tested it, it was giving what around 80 megabytes per second.
Wow.
It's more than enough for anything that they want to do in that facility. Are you guys with me? Can I move on? So, what are those things that will not determine your ISP? Available ISP provider within other environment. In our environment here, we have MTN, we have Glo, we have Airtel, we have what? Cellat. We have one that just arrived in Osogbo now. We have VDC.
Intel.
MTEL is not here. There's another one that we met on that way that they are there. Or Nigeria Fiber. They are not in Osogbo. Why is not yet in Osogbo? We have Nigeria Fiber. Those ones they will run optic fiber to your office.
Sir,
We have Nigeria Fiber. Osogbo.
Swift too.
That's why internet is outside your ISP. You will decide, am I using a visa? Nowadays, we don't even use visa again. Who can tell me the major reason why we are not using visa again? Because it's very expensive. Imagine I'm buying 100 gig for around maybe 500,000.
What?
Because you pay in hard foreign currency. But the advantage they have is that anywhere, as long as you can see the sky, your very small aperture will do what you work. Are you guys with me? It's just perfect in satellite space. But we have some other ones, like Nokia vendor that Airtel is using now. We have ZTE vendors that MTN is using. So you need to decide. After you have decided that this is the laptop I'm using now, then you now decide, am I going for the outdoor or indoor device? Majorly as a new starter, I will always advise you to go for the outdoor device. And provided you are using indoor device, make sure that you are using what? External antenna, because the coverage here can go up and down. We are in Nigeria. I was talking to one of my friends. He's in the UK. So we are talking of bandwidth. Now that I check the bandwidth I'm using to charge it, and my own bandwidth was around maybe 16 megabytes per second. But just small. Okay? The bandwidth is using in his house is 100 MB per second. Now, those are the things that determine your ISP, your data plan. There are some data plans that they will look cheap, but in the long run they are very expensive. I can't be explaining those on camera. Why you can ask yourself, why will you buy 3 or 100 gig? Why will you buy 50 gig on your smartphone and everything you get exhausted? There are some data plans, they will look cheap, but they are what? They are very expensive. While there are some data plans, they will look very expensive initially, but they are cheap. There are some companies that they do not sell data plans to you. They will sell bandwidth. They might say our 20 MPS is maybe 50,000. So either you use 2 terabytes or you use 3 terabytes or as long as you don't exceed that bandwidth, you are doing what? You are good to go. Whereas there are some companies that will send data to you. They will tell you 100 gig cap. After 100 gig, what will happen? The data will go. The speed of it, you have settled for your ISP. The next thing you need to ask yourself is, do I need to secure this network or not? If you are leaving a network open, we have some people in Nigeria, we call them data vampires. Even if it is 1 terabyte, they will swallow all your data. So you need to do what? To secure that network. Majorly what I use in securing my network is my protocol. That's a good example of firewall. What will my microtik do? The moment you see that internet, this is free internet. The more you want to connect with it like this, to bring you what? A username and password. When you used to go to cyber cafe, you have all these cyber lock that they will install on all the system. So if you want to log in like this, you need to go and buy maybe 1 hour or 2 hours. So with that 100 naira you used to buy 1 hour, the moment you log it in like this, the time starts what? Counting. So your time starts counting. So whether the internet is fast or the internet is slow, that one doesn't concern them. The time is keep pressing. Take that side around. There are some things about security scripts. Is the script that will determine the level of security. Next thing after that, we now have what we call firewall. What are major functions of firewall? How many of you here studying computer science or computer engineering? Just as you are. It prevents you from external attack. Are you guys seeing it? There was a time one of the betting sites in Nigeria was hacked, and for like 3 days people were unable to bet because they suffer an external attack from Russia, either Iran or Russia. You must also, if it's a highly secured environment, let me say like a microfinance bank, let me say like an insurance company, even there are some manufacturing companies, maybe a company that's manufacturing steel, that there are some of their devices that are run on the internet to do their setup. You must do what? Put some firewalls here. So after you have your security defense, you have what? Your firewall side. After firewall, that's number. How many devices have I listed on our hardware now? You have what? Your ISP. Your ISP might be one outdoor or one indoor. Am I right or wrong? From your ISP, you enter what? Your security server, which might be maybe microtik, Cisco, and as the case may be. After your security server, this is a place that they need an highly secure environment. They do what? You need another what device, which is what? Firewall. And what's the function of that firewall? It's block external unwanted interference. Maybe somebody, there are sometimes you now have your what we call your server. Your server switch. Your switch will now have multiple ports. You have 4-port switch. You have 8-port switch. You have 16-port switch. Depending on the number of peripheral you want to use. Number of hardware that you want to connect. So let me say in our company we have 5 printers. I want all the 5 printers to be on it. And the printer is not wireless. It means we are going to run cable from the switch down towards
to the pointer.
Then another thing we normally do is in some designs you might need multiple switches. The switch closest to your firewall, you normally call it the master switch. So let me give you an example now. We have 5 desktop. In the company wants to install internet for, we have 5 desktop systems. We want to create 4 wireless access points, making it now. How many now? 9. They have 3 printers. How many now? 12. They have 3 printers. So if you are having multiple devices that do similar function, there are some that will have multiple biometric. Maybe let's assume that we have 3 floors. Each floor has its own biometric, and we want to run it as hybrid biometric. Making how many now? 4 desktop system, 3 printers, 4 access points, and 3 biometric. How many are those ones? 14. So the minimum I need, I might go and get one single 16-port switch. They have 16. I might decide that I don't want to use a single 16-port switch. I may have one 8-port switch. From that 8-port switch, I will not decide that all my desktop system, they will be what? Or a single switch. They have their own switch separately. All my printer will have their own switch separately. All my access points will have their own switch separately. Most times we normally want access points to have their own switch separately. You can tell me the major reason why we normally have our access point. Then one bẹ́ẹ̀ náà iṣẹ́ ta lọ ṣe. So gbogbo àwọn tó wà níbi iṣẹ́ ìwòtí ẹ̀sìn jókòó. We want access points to have their own personal switches. Most access points have what we call PoE. That is, you don't need to go and power. Please are with me. So the moment you know that your access point has inbuilt PoE, you can use what? A PoE switch. And I told you that PoE switch are switches that can send both the data signals and power together. Although it has its own disadvantage. We are not talking about that one now. So after you have done that, the next thing you now need after you have your switches, how many access points do you need? I told you what's the major function of access points. You use it to access your data via wireless. You use them to access your data via wireless. The major reason I come this way is I know that even mechanic is among us. So I want everybody to understand. What I'm saying. Next thing is, you need to know if you are having some of them that are cable network, that the one will run for their desktop game. You must know what the number of network pathways that you need to that. So you put that number of network pathways here. Next after that, you need to know what the number of your RJ45 pin. Put it down. And minimum, make sure that you use twice your actual need. So if you are setting up like a 14-port network now, I might end up needing an access or an RJ pin of 14 times 3. 28 plus 14. I think 14 times 3. That should be 42. At least I'll be needing minimum of 50 pins. It's better you buy like 100 pins. Azubike, RJ11 pins, RJ11 pins, I'll line up pins. Are you guys with me? The major function of that is that there are some times that might be a mistake. The more you click like this, then you don't do what? Then you don't waste. So you need to have more than enough. Then after that one, that you now know the number of all the devices that want to put on the point, you need what we call your server rack. Your server rack. The number of devices that you want to use. The number of devices that you want to use. Put it back. The number of devices that you want to use will determine how big or how long your server rack will be. And we normally use you to measure server rack. So we have 4U, we have 6U, we have 4U with fan and above and above like that. So after you now know your server rack, you already know the number of things that you need. You now need your power plug. That's where that guy made mistake that day. You must know the number of devices you want to connect to the mains. So you must make provision for all the plugs for all those devices. That's what that we did. How many plugs do we use here? 5 plus 6.
6. 6.
6, yeah. So because I need to connect my outdoor, indoor, my basic, what again? Oh, my POE, first POE, second POE, my switch, making it how many together? 6. Other ones we plug them at external places. Not close enough. Then after that one, you need uninterrupted power supply, the UPS. Normally when light goes off, your internet should not go off like that, or an inverter. And right there, the type of inverter or UPS that we use there, we call it online UPS. There has a switching time of 0.05 seconds. Minimum. Or let me say maximum of 0.05 seconds. Before any of those devices notice that like on the network have switched.
No, you didn't use it then. You didn't use it then.
And they said you have brought the program. You know they will approve the program. When they approve, you go and do it. So after you now have all those devices, you already have done it. The next thing you are now going is transmission. You have a question? I said you should stand up throughout the class. You are sitting down. You want to buy another cup today now?
Family man.
But the uninterrupted power supply, the router, does it have the same price?
No. All everything that's inside that server will be connected to a single uninterrupted power supply. But yes, it can be. If it's an inverter, it must be online inverter. There has a very fast switching time.
But you can actually also put it only on inverter that only the inverter will be the one being charged.
I see. You can't just use any inverter. There are some inverter that has a lesser and higher switching time. Meaning that when light goes off, you yourself you know that the light goes off. Let me give you a good example. An example that everybody will use that one. You know that some of us here you can change over from generator to electricity without it blinking. That's what we call switching time. Especially nice, you can't do that one with gear switch like this. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So, if the switching time of your uninterrupted power supply is very high, it means what we want it to do is not doing it. Although some of the devices inside our server will want to go off. And we don't want them to go off. Can I move on now? So after we have already have that one, we now move to the next thing. Our transmission is without the wireless. There is even if all the transmission within that facility is wireless, there are still some that will be wired. Although there was a design I did some time ago, we were doing wireless point to points. One thing I noticed about wireless point to point is that those access points or outdoor radio or indoor radio that are closer to my server, they are always normally more faster than the way that are far. Can I move on? When we now go, after that we now decide, is it wired or wireless? We now say we want to use mixture of both wired and wireless now, for example. You now go to which type of cable I will use. I'll give you a lot of assignments here. I will list different types of cable I will use. Then I will now give an assignment, go and do research on it.